Mike and Virginia Chevalier are not only diehard Broncos fans, but they supported DNVR for a long time. As members, they're a husband and wife team with over 15 years of financial experience. You can visit them at DNVRmortgage.com and get entered to win a free DNVR shirt or hat of your choice when you do. But most importantly, get set up with a free consultation to discuss all of your mortgage options. Mike is a certified financial planner, which really sets them apart from the rest. They're your mortgage expert, working up and down the front range, and they will work with the utmost integrity. They'll shop over a dozen lenders to get the best rate for you and your family. And if you mention DNVR or visit them at DNVRmortgage.com, it's possible to have your appraisal and all other closing costs covered. So call them at 303-257-6578 or visit them at DNVRmortgage.com. That is where you can get in on all of the awesome stuff they're doing over there. So check them out. That's Michael Chevalier, NMLS number 1931006, and Virginia Chevalier, NMLS number 1910631. Let's hop into the show.
Number one for the one and only DNVR. Two goes out to Zach, Mace, RK, and the bar. Three for Mr. B in that old trophy case. Number four, we're still waiting for. Well, bring on the chase. Out on the field, a mile high, Broncos win is our desire. Couple with a breakfast crew and a friendly orange and blue to the bitter end. Come and join us at the DNVR. We are DNVR.
Welcome in to the DNVR Broncos podcast presented by MSU Denver Online. Make sure you check out what's going on down there at MSU Denver Online. Dynamic education at your fingertips without forcing you to choose between getting education and living your life. There's probably a good chance that you've got some newfound free time on your hands, and what better way to use that time than to further your education? 750 classes, 40-plus hybrid programs, tons of great stuff going on over there. So check them out. Use this time. Get your education right, and be extra prepared for the job field when things start opening up a little bit more. Check them out, msudenver.edu/online.
My boys, what's up, man? This feels like a great Wednesday. I mean, for a lot of people, this is the start of their Thanksgiving break. So thank you for joining us today. And guys, I'm so pumped for the show.
Yes, Thanksgiving is in the air. You can feel it. You can smell it. And I got to ask you guys real quick, just make it easy. Yes or no on turkey?
No.
Smoked turkey or deep fried. Smoked or deep fried turkey will change the way you feel about turkey. And
Hey,
barbecue guy.
There's no such thing as a yes or no answer to me.
No, but hey, we live in the gray, right? There's always gray area. If it's turkey in an oven, I want no part of it. But sometimes the hidden star of great barbecue restaurants is smoked turkey. Like there's a place in North Carolina that I used to go and just get a pound of sliced smoked turkey and eat off it for a couple of weeks. And it's heavenly, guys, when it's done right.
Yeah, good smoked turkey is solid. Since it's a yes or no question, I'm going no. But, when I say no, I mean no, it's not in the top 10 things that you eat at Thanksgiving, but I'm still going to eat it.
So what, there's 11 things you eat and it's not in the top 10?
I mean, I don't know, not better than stuffing.
No.
I would rather just eat straight cranberry sauce. It's not better than mac and cheese. It's not better than mashed potato. I mean,
no.
I don't think
it is. That is the thing that I have the smallest portion of. But at Thanksgiving, so you have to have a little bit on your plate. I'm right there with you, Ryan. I mean, it is the thing that I save for last and maybe have a tiny little bite, but everything else is better.
Okay, Wait a minute. You're saving the thing that you don't like for last. I would say have it first, get it out of the way, and then
you don't have to eat it.
Yeah,
right.
and you enjoy it.
You know what? It's funny because I typically do the complete opposite. I typically eat. I save the best thing for last, and my girlfriend's always like, "Oh my gosh, you're eating the salad first." So of course you are. I have to eat the salad first. You make me feel bad for eating the pasta first. But it's okay if I don't eat the turkey. So if I'm just too full, then it's okay.
Okay, so what is your favorite? What's your go-to then?
My go-to, absolutely the mashed potatoes with the gravy. I think we talked about this last year. You throw some peas in, so you make it a little swimming pool. Maybe some pearled onions as well for some floaties for the peas in there.
Wow, weird. Yeah, I'm a big stuffing guy, and I think I say this every year, but I started making the stuffing in my family because I'm sick and tired of people trying to mess with stuffing. Like, it's the number one thing that just doesn't need to be messed with. People are always trying to put new ingredients in there, make it out of different things. Like, no, just get the standard stuffing, make it exactly the way it says on the box or the bag, and it's better than any variation you can have. I am cool though. Like my dad always wants to like add an extra one because he thinks that you can somehow change stuffing and make it better. So I'm fine with him trying whatever he wants, but in the end, that one has leftovers and mine doesn't.
So Mace, the dish that Ryan's describing, what do you call it?
I think Mace. I think we lost Mace.
He's frozen. Oh, okay. Well, I was going to ask him.
He's frozen in a very stoic, and it looks like he's really paying attention to what we have to say.
I thought you captured him, man. But my question was going to be, what does he call stuffing? Because Ryan, you called it the absolutely right thing. It's stuffing. Dressing. I mean, come on, dressing is salad dressing. Everyone has a couple bottles in their fridge. It's not dressing. It's stuffing.
What's weird about that, Zach, is there's actually a distinction between dressing and stuffing, and what we would call it, because stuffing goes in the turkey. That's if you cook it in the turkey, it's stuffing. If you put it around the turkey, it's dressing. You're dressing up the turkey around. I actually do either of those things, but the way we make it, which at least I do, like in a casserole dish, and then you put it on your plate, is closer to dressing than stuffing. But I'm with you; it's still called stuffing.
Wow, I had no idea that's why it was called dressing. Is because you're dressing the turkey. Okay,
yeah,
okay, I'll take a step back.
A lot of people put it around the turkey in a decorative manner.
Wow, just to eat it, just to ruin it.
I know. I always thought it was called stuffing because I ate so much of it that I was stuffed afterwards. Anyways,
just gotta stick with that.
The one thing I'll say to everyone, who defend turkey is you don't make it on any other day.
Yep.
Nope. But you don't. You might say you don't make stuffing on any other day. The thing is, I actually do. So you can't pull that one on me. And you ever get one of those Thanksgiving sandwiches?
Yes. Only the day after Thanksgiving though. I'm not going in the summer and ordering a Thanksgiving sandwich.
Interesting. There's a place in Boulder called Half-Ass Subs that does a Thanksgiving sandwich. It has the stuffing on there, cranberry sauce. Oh, it's delicious. Okay, we're gonna move on. I had to get our Thanksgiving talk in today since we won't be doing a pod tomorrow. Zach, you brought something up interesting to me before the show, and I definitely think it's worth having a discussion on. Last week, it really felt like the Broncos found a formula. Run the ball, 31 times. Pass the ball 30 times. That's a nice balance. You got 16 carries for Phillip, Lindsay, 15 carries for Melvin Gordon. Those guys tore it up. You ran a bunch of play action off of it. It was great. You love to see it. Now you finally have a formula. You might have an identity. And now you run into a buzzsaw when it comes to that formula that you were talking about. Zach, do you want to shed a little bit of light on what I'm talking about?
Oh my gosh. I mean, Ryan, we're so pumped on Monday. The Broncos found their offensive formula. And the Saints come marching into town with the NFL's best run defense, only giving up 74 yards per game. It's over 10 yards less than the second best team. So they're not just the best in the league. They kind of blow the rest of the league out. And Ryan, get this. If 74 yards and being the NFL's best run defense wasn't good enough, over the past 3 games, the Saints are giving up 34 yards per game on the ground. 34 in 3 games. That's like a good sample size. You don't just fall into that. And so everything we talked about on Monday, over the past 48 hours since realizing this, I've been thinking, oh my gosh, what do you do? Do you abandon the game plan and you have Drew drop back? Obviously not 50 times, but 40 times? Do you just keep pounding the rock until 2 minutes left in the game and you're down 7 points and then you have to throw the ball? What do you do here, Ryan?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question and an unfortunate timing for this. Real quick, can I just ask you, who are the 3 teams that they played in the last 3 games that they've allowed an average of 34 yards?
The Falcons, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. Yeah, so that kind of puts a fork in my answer here.
And a fork in your turkey?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say there are certain teams who just make this who they are. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Obviously, the game situations will change and you will adjust to it. But you go into a game with the idea that you're going to run the ball. And one of the teams I was going to say is like that is the San Francisco 49ers. They, running is part of who they are. They have to be able to do it. And they're going to commit to doing it regardless of who they're playing. What I will say is usually the Los Angeles Rams are one of these teams as well. But what the Los Angeles Rams are really good at, Zach, is even if they don't want to run the ball in a game, or if they're unable to run the ball, which happened to them. Did they play on Monday night?
Yep.
Yes, Monday night against the Buccaneers. They weren't able to run the ball in that game. But if you went back and just watched each game in a vacuum, you wouldn't be able to tell that this was a game where they had no success running the ball. Because they will continue to keep up the idea that they're going to run the ball by running play action, by lining up in formations that look like they're going to run the ball, by running the pre-snap motion that you've seen multiple times on runs. And that, I think, is the furthest I'll go into saying that I'm okay with the Broncos moving away from the run a little bit in this game plan. Even if hey, look, we're just probably not going to be able to run the ball 30 times because you have a feeling that you're going to get stopped for 1 to 2 yards, most of the times you attempt to run. You still have to say, well, we're still going to sprinkle it in, and we're still going to make them think we want to run the ball. And hopefully you can capitalize on some aggressiveness from the Saints who think you're going to run the ball as well. So that's where I'll go with this. Go back, look at the game plan that the Los Angeles Rams used on Monday Night Football. And no, I realize you're not going to run, you're not the same offense, but just the idea behind what they were doing, which is we're still going to run the chip releases on play action with our tight ends. We're still going to make you think we want to run the ball, even if we know we can't.
Ryan, and I think that's the key, is they have to respect the run enough, because look where Drew Lock was the best he's been this year. It was off play action. It was on the move. That's what you have to make sure stays. Because, Ryan, this game, really Drew Lock's development is more important than this game. So you can't just rush him back and say, okay, Drew, you're in shotgun, drop back 45 times this game. Good luck. Because that would be a losing game plan. It would also kill Drew. So you need to make sure that you have some balance. And I understand it's not going to be 50-50 this week. That's something that people should not be expecting going into this game. But maybe it's 35-25, 35 dropbacks, 25 runs. And you also don't have to run the ball for 5.5 yards per carry. You're just not going to be able to do that. The Saints defense is the best defense in the league against the run, not only in yards per game, but also in yards per attempt. They only give up 3.3 yards per attempt. So you want to be, if you can be around 4 what Pat Shurmur needs to do is just realize that, okay, the running game is not going to be sexy, but we have to keep pounding away until the fourth quarter. And if things are out of hand, then obviously you have to change that. But you have to stay committed to the run because, Ryan and Mace, welcome back. The Saints will not respect the run, and they won't respect the play action if you're not running.
45% is the key. You, even against a team like this, for Drew Lock to have a better chance of success, you want to run the ball at least 45% of the time. And so 35-25, Zach, I think that might be a little bit below where you want it to be. Maybe you want those runs to be about 27 or so, but you've got to get that to where it's not, no one wants 50-50 balance. No one needs 50-50 balance, but it's got to be up there. You mentioned some of the Saints numbers. There's one number for the Saints that is really insane in their run defense. They only allow a first down once every 5.7 carries. So in theory, if you just come out and try to run the ball on every down, you're going 3 and out every time against these guys. This is one of the best run defenses that I've seen in the last several years, guys. So the Broncos, they need to try it, but success has to be different. If you average 4 yards per carry on these guys, you've done something great, and that's allowed you to sustain it. So
he was about to drop the mic.
Oh man.
yeah,
I know it was.
Where did I leave off? Because I have no clue where I was cut off.
Mace, you left us when you said so, like you were going to say something great.
You said if you average 4 yards per carry against this team, you've done something great. So, and then you did exactly that. You cut out again.
This is not.
Oh, we're so close to a screw this. We are so close.
We are. That's exactly what Daniel in the comments.
Screw this.
At least he's smiling this time.
Yes.
Okay. This is tough.
Yeah, this is a struggle.
Love us some Mace, but sometimes it just might not be in the cards.
Well, Ryan, Mace was killing us with some great stats. Tristan Beckman in the comment section says Saints have not allowed a 100-yard rusher since November 19th, 2017. Holy smokes. Wow. I guess I've been sleeping on the Saints defense for years, I guess.
That is remarkable. And it just shows you how tough it's going to be this week. Now, you can try some different things, Zach, and that's the other thing that I want to point out. Do not run Phillip Lindsay right up the middle and expect to get more than that 3.3 yards per carry, which is the average that you're going to get. Running the ball for you this week is a chore. It's something that you have to do. It's not something that you want to do, but you know that if you don't get it done, it's going to get ugly. It's like doing the dishes. You don't want to do it, but if you don't do it, the dishes are going to pile up and your kitchen's going to look like an absolute mess. And that's exactly what this is. But just because you have to do the dishes doesn't mean you can't put some music on. Doesn't mean you can't, get a little groove going. And what I mean by that is you have to try different ways of running the ball. You got to try counters. You got to try even reverses is a way of running the ball a little bit and just not allowing them to get their pass rush heated up. There's so many different ways. Try some sweeps. Try some counters out of the shotgun, which we know this team has been successful doing. There's so many different ways that you can try to run the ball and bring it on in different ways too. Again, you just got to find a way to run the ball 20-something times. You don't have to do it the same way every time.
Yeah, exactly. And you hope that both Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay come to play because you're going to need both of those guys. And they're going to have to be clicking. And another thing you're going to have to do, Ryan, is get the other guys involved in the run game. I mean, you mentioned the sweeps. Where's KJ Hamler been on a sweep? He's showed that he can do everything. And just like Daniel's saying, have KJ run in motion to keep the defense on their toes and also utilize the short passing game. Drew Lock does not have to go deep over and over again, just quick, short passes to help with that. And unfortunately, the Saints' pass defense is still pretty good now, not as good as their run defense. Saints almost a borderline top 10 pass defense. I think they're ranked number 11th or 12th. So you can move the ball there, but it's not like that's the easy option.
Yeah, absolutely. We got you, Mace?
I hope so. I changed connections. Now I'm on my cell phone. But the one thing I will say, Zach, about the Saints pass defense, they give up yards, but in terms of first down rate, they're 7th best in the league. So it's like some of what they give up, Zach, is they'll give up 8 yards on 3rd and 12, for example. So you're able to get some yards, but not necessarily move the chains on these guys. It's an exceptional defense. The other thing is, you talk about some sweeps. The only area in run defense where the Saints are even remotely vulnerable is on the sweep. If you go outside of left end on these guys, you average 4.4 yards per carry over the course of the season. So maybe that's a key. You've got to run around the left side, and that's where the strength of your offensive line is right now in run blocking, right? With Garrett Bowles and Dalton Reisner on that left side. So try that. Try to play to your strengths in this game.
Yes, exactly. Get the ball outside of the tackles. Get those guards pulling. Be creative. Again, I maybe only want to see 3-4 dives the entire game. Again, just because it's a chore. It's just something that you have to get out of the way. You do have to also make them think that you are willing to run the ball in the middle of the field, so they aren't sitting on the other side of things. So it's difficult. You know what my favorite thing about this conversation is, guys?
What?
This is kind of what our conversation sounded like last week.
Yeah.
When you start looking at this game on paper, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher from the Broncos. And sometimes when that happens in the NFL, there's a curveball there. That's what I kept saying. Even though I wasn't confident in it, I said, just when you think you know what's going to happen in the NFL by looking at a game on paper, the NFL will come and surprise you.
Well, and where I feel good about this game is on the other side of the ball. Taysom Hill was extremely effective and efficient. I think he proved Sean Payton right, at least in his first game last week. But I love Vic Fangio going up against an inexperienced quarterback, an inexperienced player, and Taysom Hill. I really like Vic Fangio in that matchup.
The only problem is that on the other side, you do have...
Oh, man. Another mic drop moment.
I'm assuming he was going to say Alvin Kamara.
No.
I thought he was going to say
Am
Sean
I back?
Payton.
I was saying Sean Payton. And that's the thing that's different here, is that you have one of the 2 or 3 best offensive minds in football in the last 20 years who is providing the guidance to that young quarterback in Taysom Hill. And the other thing is, Taysom Hill, he's a chaos kind of quarterback. So this is somebody who is at his best when things sometimes break down a little bit. So you can have a beautiful game plan. You can have a beautiful defensive call, and he's capable of of extending it and getting guys a little bit fatigued, getting them to chase and making something unique happen that's off the script. So it's a little bit different than going up against Tua Tagovailoa last week, for example.
Definitely different. A lot more experience, obviously, in the league. To me, and we'll talk more about the game plan exactly on Friday, but to me, it really comes down to just committing tons and tons of resources to stopping the run, and just living with what happens if Taysom Hill is able to, drop back in the pocket, hit his back foot, and deliver a nice deep ball. If he can do that, that's a way that you can sleep with losing. If you end up losing because they run for 250 yards on the ground, you can't run the ball at all, they possess the ball the entire game, then you are going to be in big trouble. One big thing for slowing down that run would be having back Shelby Harris, but that is not exactly a foregone conclusion. What do we know about Shelby?
Holy smokes. Today, guys, Vic Fangio spoke on KOA and said Shelby Harris will not practice today. Vic said he believes he has to go through 4 or 5 days of testing before he can come back. And I believe today is the first day. So we'll find out more when we talk to Vic in just a couple of hours. But guys, this is concerning because let's say Shelby comes back and he's able to be with the team on Friday or Saturday. Are they going to have him play with not just missing 1 week, not just missing 2 weeks, but missing 3 weeks? I don't think the Broncos will go that route.
I think they'll play they will. Just sparingly.
Yeah. I think they'll. I don't think they'll go the route of having him play every down. I think RK is right. I think you'll see him play high leverage downs and maybe 15 to 20 plays. Because with all respect to the guys who are out there, Shelby is by some distance your best defensive lineman. If you can get 15 snaps out of him, great. Have him up. You need that.
I think that honestly, guys, is looking like the ideal situation now, and I think that's a great point.
Just crazy, and you hope just with how long this has been affecting Shelby that he's okay now and okay long term as well. It's a weird situation, and in the comments here from Johnny Blaze, it says, is Ed Donatel coming back? Do we have any update on Ed?
Ed, unsure if he's going to be back this week, which to me says Vic Fangio is not counting on having him back. Man, that's really good that he's doing better, but it's clear that COVID hit him extremely hard. But we're glad that he's out of the hospital, and he's partaking in some of the meetings virtually. But Vic kind of alluded to the fact that he's listening to the meetings, but he's not driving any meetings.
One thing that's interesting on that, in the media schedule that went out yesterday, Ed Donatel's name was not on there with the other coordinators expected to speak to the media on Friday. So I think that's a sign that Ed's not going to be all the way back this week.
Shame. And you just hope health-wise that he gets back sooner rather than later. All right, before we move on here, got to give out our DraftKings pick of the week, and let me just tell you, there is a ton of awesome stuff going on at DraftKings this week. You just want to get over there and get onto the app and just start looking at all of the different deals they have going for you. There are tons of different Turkey Day specials that you can get in on, so make sure you check it out. There's a no-brainer for if Baltimore and Pittsburgh find the end zone. If either team gets in the end zone, you'll make some money off of that. There is a 50% profit boost on any team to have a turnover on downs on Thursday. 33% profit boost on a 3-leg parlay, which you got to have. And then finally, place a $20 bet live on Thanksgiving and get a $10 free bet just for your troubles. You might even make money off your $20 live bet. You'll still get the free bet. So tons of amazing deals at DraftKings. All right, Zach. I'll start with you. What is your DraftKings pick of the week?
Well, guys, I'm going into Thanksgiving on a heater. I've hit on 6 straight picks of the week, and I think 3 or 4 of those have been on Alabama. I can't do that as much as I love the Tide. They're 25.5-point favorites going up against number 22 ranked Auburn. 25-point favorites against Auburn. So, of course, I'll be picking Alabama, but I can't rightfully give that as a lock of the week. So I'm going to Thanksgiving. You got to put some juice on Thanksgiving. And I'm going with a little teaser, 2-team teaser to make it about even odds here. I'm taking the Washington football team +9 against the Cowboys. So they can lose by a touchdown and I still win that. Pair that on with Steelers +2 or +1. It seems like that's where it is right now. Of course, you get the 6 points on that. So, man, all I need is a Pittsburgh win against a Baltimore team that's dealing with COVID, and I just need Washington to keep it within, 8 points.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, this is how much of an idiot I am. How can you do +9 on Washington when the spread is +3?
The old teaser.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
So you give up value, you get points.
This is too complicated for me.
There said there would be no math.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, well, I'm going all the way to Sunday, guys. Jacksonville is starting Mike Glennon, and the Browns are going into to Jacksonville. They're 6.5-point favorites. Mike Glennon It's not a white flag, but it's pretty close. I think the Browns win. They win by double digits. Give me the Browns, even though they're giving 6.5.
Wait, real quick, I just want to clarify. How did Mike Glennon get a ride back from the surface of the sun? Did he hitch a ride with Joe Flacco? I don't know.
Yeah. He and Joe Flacco were hanging out up there, and they built a reverse rocket ship.
Now they're both playing.
Smart guy.
Brandon Allen came back with them.
Yes, he did.
Jeez, we're really seeing probably Joe Flacco, Brandon Allen, and Mike Glennon all playing this week.
Wow, we need odds on DraftKings Sportsbook on who's going to have a better performance: Drew Lock, Brandon Allen, or Joe Flacco. Maybe Case Keenum will get a couple plays in too, and we can throw him into the mix.
Jeez, do you guys know how many freaking college basketball games there are today?
Oh, because today's opening tip-off.
Big day, yeah.
Yes. I was just trying to find the game that I wanted to pick here, and I could not believe how many games. There's 100 games. It's insane.
It's like the start of the NCAA tournament.
And they're all over. The clock today. I mean, you've got for example, you've got Virginia Tech against Radford, Nebraska, McNeese State tipping off at 10 a.m. You've got UVA at 11:30. They're all over the place today. I mean, it's a buffet.
Yeah, it really is. Well, it took me so long to find it that I wasn't able to change it because I don't like the way it's moved. I was going to give you Buffs minus 14.5, but it's already moved all the way to minus 16.5 just in the time it took me to scroll all the way down there. So you know what? I'm going to give this out, even though I might not even bet this because I hate betting this. But I think it's going to hit. Buffs taking on South Dakota today in their opener. And it's a kind of a weird situation. They have traveled to Manhattan, Kansas, where they will also play Kansas State in a kind of a round robin type of thing they've got going on over there. And I just think with the odd season, a new, what's the word I'm looking for? A new gym that they're going to be playing in. Tad Boyle loves to focus on defense. I think that this is going to be an over-under set at 144.5. I think that these teams are just going to struggle to get going offensively. So give me the under 144.5 in CU versus South Dakota. I might not bet it because I hate having to cheer against my own offense, but I think it's going to hit.
Man, yeah, that does seem pretty high, especially for the first game of the season.
Yeah, and you never know. Sometimes teams just get hot from three and it goes crazy, but I think that one will hit. All right, before we go here, I'd love if you guys on YouTube would hit us with a thumbs up. We always appreciate that. We could also get a few subscribes in there. All you got to do is click subscribe, and if you're feeling extra generous, sign up for the alerts, which are right next to the subscribe button. That way you know every time that we are going live on YouTube or when we drop a new video. But for the live side of things, that's going to wrap it up for us, and we'll talk to you guys on Friday. Have a great Thanksgiving.